I deserve to have 1 hour to myself to feel better. And the outcome of that is going to not only help me, but it's going to help everybody around me because look, I'm going to feel better. And if I feel better, I'm not going to be grumpy and I'm going to show up with more love and understanding because that's who I truly am. I don't want to be grumpy. I don't want to snap at anyone. And the way to do that, like the quote, the key to happiness is really, truly self-love. Hi, welcome back to A Mother's Guide Through Autism podcast. I am Bridget Shipman. And today what I'm going to be talking about is I'm going to be talking about a continuation from the last episode about how to truly understand and apply self-love to yourself. And more importantly, when we do this, when we really take that step forward, it really is all about giving yourself permission. And I'm going to walk you through how to get unstuck and get out of the cycle of believing that really you don't have possibilities, that we can daydream and we can dream of things. But the reality of it is, a lot of us that have kids on the autism spectrum or with disabilities just really don't feel like we have possibilities. It's very easy to get in a rut, in a cycle that leads to disappointment because we're very vulnerable as autism moms. And I think the big thing here is to really, if you can really truly shift your mindset, because this is really about mindset. It really, really is. And how to be able to shift that to going from feeling the doom, the gloom, into really feeling like some of the things that you've been craving and daydreaming about really are possible. So what that does is it really does give you a shift. You're going to shift into possibility. And I know that sounds kind of big and hard for you, but I know I have been where you are. I have been stuck. I have been in a rut. I didn't really feel like I was willing to put myself out there any more than I already have been, right? So if you're an autism mom, you're feeling really vulnerable and you don't want to open yourself up to be any more vulnerable than you already are. And I get that. But when we can truly let go, truly get unstuck, you're going to start looking around to the things that are full of goodness that you already have in this moment right now. It's not anything you have to earn or work for. It's like really looking around at your world and your life and really being able to begin to see the possibilities and the goodness that are in your life in this moment. So before you start, arguing with your own self-thought, listen, I have coached enough autism moms to know when you're in that cycle. I get it because I've been there. I can really, truly, like it was yesterday, although it's been years now because Joseph is an adult. And so it is much, much, much lighter right now. But I remember like it was yesterday. It was very, very hard and stressful. And I remember thinking, I would just love 1 hour. 1 hour with no interruptions, 1 hour to myself to do whatever it is that I want. I'm going to use a workout for an example, because that was something that I really did crave. When I moved my body, I felt better mentally. It just made me feel like I did something for me. And I love the serotonin that I desperately needed from my workouts. But it was so difficult to be able to have that hour. And there were some days where I was so exhausted from my days that I just felt like, well, is it even worth making the effort to try to get in a workout? What was it? And there were a lot of days where I felt like, no, it wasn't. But then when we start going down in that cycle where you start believing like, man, I don't even think it's worth it. Will I really benefit from whatever it is that you're craving? The answer is yes, you will definitely benefit from giving yourself the permission, truly letting go and move into the possibility. The key to this is to really sit with yourself and be willing to take the leap of faith and truly give yourself the permission and to believe that you are worth it. This is really important because, you know, like I said, last week when I was talking about self-love, just as a quick reminder, it is all about valuing yourself. And it's all about the full mind, body, and spirit experience when you really do love yourself. And then without the guilt, without the self-judgment, without feeling like you're not doing what you're supposed to do, which really try to stay away with the shoulds, right? And the should nots. What you are doing though, when you value yourself, you will begin to let go and you will give yourself permission to have whatever it is that you're craving. So I have so many examples of this, of moms attempting this when we first try it. So I want you to know that I understand that if you try this, you may not truly have let go. It is something that we need to practice. When you practice this self-permission and giving yourself some time, or whatever it is that you're looking for, if that guilt creeps in or that self-judgment takes over and you then don't see the possibilities any longer, then what I would say is then let's go back, take a few breaths, and really get into the practice of I deserve to have an hour of whatever. So I'm going to keep using what I came up with. I deserve to have 1 hour to myself to feel better. And the outcome of that is going to not only help me, but it's going to help everybody around me, because look, I'm going to feel better. And if I feel better, I'm not going to be grumpy, and I'm going to show up with more love and understanding, because that's who I truly am. I don't want to be grumpy. I don't want to snap at anyone. And the way to do that, like the quote, the key to happiness is really, truly self-love. All right. Wherever you are, if you're able to, I would love for you to grab something to write with. And you don't, have to do it right now. This is something you can process and think about and then come back to it. But I would like for you to find just a few minutes just to brain dump anything and everything that you have been craving, even if it's something really small. I recommend starting out small, because if it feels too big, you're not going to do it. You're going to resist it. And that's fairly typical. So find a spot, do the mindset, take a few breaths in through the nose and exhale through the back of your throat. And when I ask you to do this, I ask you to put your hand on your heart and your other hand on your solar plexus, which is around your belly button and diaphragm. And you're going to inhale and you're going to breathe in and say, I allow. And as you exhale, feel all the tension and everything release and surrender. Again, when you breathe in, I allow. When I exhale, I surrender. And do that one more time. And then surrender. Allow, surrender, allow, surrender. Until you feel relaxed and you feel like you're out of your head space and into your heart space. Remember, this is mindfulness. This is a reset for your mind from impossibility, I can't do something, to the land of possibilities. Then I would ask for you to, and this is again, something you can come back to jot down a list, whatever comes up to you. Don't judge it. Write it down of things that you're craving to do. Something that you would like to do, an action that fills you up, that you daydream about, that you think about, and that you haven't been doing because you feel like it's not possible. You feel like you're stuck. And so when you're in that stuck, shift it, jot it all down, whatever it is. Do not judge it. Once you've written your list, then it's time to circle one item on your list. You might feel like doing something really big. Maybe your mind has shifted to a place where, you know what, I haven't done anything for myself for so long. I'm going to take a whole day versus an hour. That's really up to you. Wherever you land, just don't judge it and let go of the guilt. Next, we're going to write a permission slip. And this is a great reminder as you go throughout your day to this permission slip. Write it on whatever you want to write it, but make sure that it's somewhere that you can see it. Once you write it, so I'm going to write my name, just like I did for my kids' field trips. You would sign that permission slip. Remember those? Or maybe you're still signing them. But I, Bridget Shipman, give permission to have 1 whole hour to work out. 1 whole hour. So literally write that permission slip and then put it up somewhere. You could even date it. You could even put in the hour of when this field trip or whatever it is that you're going to be doing, your self-love permission slip. And if that helps you stick to it, that's really putting some accountability in your permission slip. because you've signed up and you've released this amount of time with this action of self-love for you. And write as many of those as you need. If one permission slip helps you get that mindset and helps you start doing this on a regular basis, then great. If you start to slip and your mindset goes back to the doom and the gloom and the stuck feeling, then just go back and repeat this exercise as many times as needed. I really, really hope that this helped you shift your mind, to give yourself permission to let go, get unstuck, because I want to say this again, you deserve it. You absolutely do. And remember, really and truly, when you start shifting and honoring yourself, everybody benefits. Everybody does, not just you. Well, this was a permission slip, how to give yourself permission episode on A Mother's Guide Through Autism. I want to leave you with the quote that I love again, just to remind you that according to Robert Morley, to fall in love with yourself is the first secret to happiness. And we just took a small step towards that. I really hope you do this. If you do this practice, this exercise, I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me. You can go to A Mother's Guide Through Autism.com. That's our website. You can get a free consult with me, and I can help you with this. I can help you with any reason that you would like to reach out. But I would love to hear how this has worked for you, or if you need any extra support. And that's one way that you can reach out to me. You can also go to Mother's Guide Through Autism private Facebook group and let me know how this episode served you. I would love to hear from you. And if you liked this episode, we would greatly appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button and like our podcast and this episode. I will be back in the next episode of A Mother's Guide Through Autism. Until then, stay well and stay safe, and go hug yourself along with your kids.